Guys, welcome to today's video. If you're new to my channel, hello, I am Suzana and I love talking about luxury makeup, which we will be doing a lot of in today's video. I am doing a full face of a lot of the new makeup and everything I've already actually given a try, so I will be sharing a little reviews as we go through it all. There's one product where I had a little bit of a change of heart. I went from like not really caring too much for the product to actually being able to appreciate it, but not fully. You guys will see what I mean. I feel like that was such a weird explanation there. But yeah, so we're going to be looking at the new foundation from Givenchy. Very excited to finally be sharing some thoughts with you guys on that, as well as the new loose powder from Tatcha. I also have the new blushes from Chanel. So these are new shades. They are gorgeous. Wait until you guys see those in action. And I'm also going to show you some products that I had picked up from the Chanel spring collection this year that I haven't had a chance to share with you all. So yeah, a lot of good stuff to play with today. I hope you guys are looking forward to how I achieved this look. And well, yeah, let's just go ahead and get to it so you guys can see how I achieved this look. So I already went ahead and applied the primer. This is actually really nice. It's from LYS. It's a new brand to Sephora. There are other products from this brand that I really want to try out, especially now that I've tested out this primer, and I like that it feels a little bit of a tackiness on the skin. I don't feel it on, but when I touch it is when I feel a little bit of that tackiness. Since I bought this, I have been reaching for this one and I've really been enjoying it. I do think that because it does stay a little bit tacky on the skin, it helps with the rest of your makeup, its longevity, because it just really grips onto it. So I've really been liking that, and definitely I need to try more products from that brand. You guys let me know if you've tried anything from LYS. What do you like from them? Because I've heard really good reviews about a lot of their products. Okay, so now I'm gonna move over to a foundation. I'm already shaking it up. This one's the new foundation from Givenchy. It's called the Prism Libre Skin Caring Glow. This is very nice. Definitely a buildable foundation, but I will say that it starts off at like a light medium coverage, and I am able to build it up to like a solid medium, I would say. So typically I do use about 2 pumps, so that's how much I'm going to dispense. And that's how it looks. And as you can see, that runs pretty quickly. It is a thinner formula. So the shade I have is not my shade at all. This is way too light for me. This one's 3C275, but we will make it work. Unfortunately, this is too light for me, which is not my preference. If I'm ever going to miss any foundation shade, I'd rather go with a darker one than a lighter one. I just find it a little bit more difficult to match up with the rest of my makeup, but we'll be fine. So I'm actually going to use a brush today. I've mostly been using a sponge, but today I'm going to use my Smith 151 and see how it applies with this. So this foundation is heavily fragranced. That is the, gosh, it's like such a pet peeve of mine really that brands still do this with their makeup. It's like, we don't like it, we don't want it. And it's really mostly luxury beauty brands that do this, and I just don't get it. It's already definitely to a point where it's just too much, and I do find that it lingers for a while. So as you can see, I do need 2 pumps to be able to evenly cover my whole face, but the coverage is quite light. I do though like the finish of this foundation, and you guys will see as I kind of start building it up how this radiance just looks very beautiful on the skin. I mean, it is a gorgeous looking foundation. So I will go ahead and apply a little bit more of this. This is really quite a thin layer on me right now, so it's not like I have a ton on anyway, but I'll try to take out maybe about a pump. Yeah, let me keep going. Okay. So that's just under a pump there. And I'm going to focus this on the center of my face where I do need more of that coverage. I have a lot of redness, hyperpigmentation, all that stuff. All right, so I think this is as good as we're going to get as far as coverage goes. which I don't think it's really that bad. I do feel comfortable with building this up to like a medium coverage, and this is how it's looking. Obviously, where I do have a lot more hyperpigmentation, that's always going to pull through with a foundation that gives this amount of coverage. So instead of going in and applying more foundation in those areas, at this point, I think it's just best to conceal that with an actual concealer. But let's talk a little bit about this glow that this foundation gives. It's definitely giving some radiance, and I think it looks really pretty. I've really actually been enjoying this foundation very much. I feel like it wears really nicely. There is like skin benefits to this. I don't know, you guys. It's very hard for me to test out a foundation to see if that skincare really does something, because I don't wear a foundation for too long of a period to really be able to notice that type of difference. I have way too many to just use one foundation. Like, that's not the type of life that I live. I think the wear time on this is 12 hours. Okay, so it says here, Skincare and Glow Foundation, 12-hour glow, 24-hour hydration. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, so anyway, I haven't even tested it for 12 hours, I will say that, but I did test it for quite some time yesterday. Here it says, on the box, it also says, the foundation takes care of your skin and enhances its natural beauty with a radiant, light diffusing finish. Its light melting texture is enriched with an advanced glow complex, a water infused with skincare actives that guarantees a fresh and light drenched complexion for 12 hours. Day after day, the skin becomes more beautiful and luminous. The skin's clarity appears improved and its texture refined. The complexion looks evenly transparent while imperfections are visibly reduced. Buildable coverage. Yeah, I mean, especially that last line that I just read, the complexion looks evenly transparent while imperfections are visibly reduced. Nailed it with that, because look, my skin does not look like I'm actually wearing foundation. I feel like it actually looks really natural. So I see where it kind of evened out my complexion. Obviously, my imperfections are going to show, but they're nowhere near as obvious as they were before I applied the foundation. So yeah, so far I'm liking it, minus that fragrance. I definitely don't like that. And then one thing I did want to say that I'm kind of like hesitant to say is that I have been experiencing more breakouts. My skin was actually clearing up really nicely. I've kind of changed my diet a little, and I feel like that was helping with my skin. And now I'm kind of breaking out, but these could be hormonal breakouts, so I'm not too sure, because really the last several days this is the only foundation I've been using. So it could be the foundation, it could be my hormonal acne. I don't know, I guess at this point really only time will tell. I hope it's just not the foundation. So I'm just gonna go ahead now and apply some concealer under my eyes and spot conceal as well. I don't have a new one, so I'll just be using this one from Chanel. I use the shade 30. So let me do this real quick and then we'll be right back to do the rest of the makeup. All right, so now we can apply some powder. I do have the new powder from Tatcha, their silk powder. It says back here it's a radiant translucent setting powder. So first things first, I just want to get this part out of the way. I very much dislike the packaging of this. I think it feels really cheap. I think it looks really cheap, and I don't like the shape of it either. I just don't like anything about the packaging here, but I do actually like the inside part. So packaging is not the most important thing, obviously, when you're buying makeup. But when it comes to higher end products, packaging kind of is part of the deal. I mean, isn't it? So I do expect something that feels more luxurious than this here. It's just plastic and I just don't like any of it. So this is how the powder looks. When you first get it, there's like this plastic ring here to hold the powder from getting all over the place. I actually dropped this on my way down here to film, so that's why there is a little bit extra powder there at the moment, but really it's not bad. Now, I'm not sure if you guys can really see the color of this powder in camera here. It has like a yellow tint, and I do find that that affects the shade of my foundation as well as my concealer. So I don't like that. Honestly, at this point, I don't really know how I feel about this powder. I haven't seen anybody else talk about, well, I haven't watched any videos because I've seen that people have it on their thumbnails, but I haven't watched any reviews on it yet because I was testing it out for myself, and I think I'm at a point where I should start watching some reviews to see what other people are saying, because the fact that this powder does have like a yellowish tint, so at least for under my eyes, I'm just not sure how I feel about it. But let me just show you guys and y'all can tell me, or if you have it, you can tell me if you kind of see what I'm seeing as well. So I picked up a pretty good amount. This is what I typically like to pick up when I'm setting my concealer and my T-zone. And I really like to work my loose powder in just by doing like tapping motions, really back and forth, like in that same area. And then whatever's left on the puff, I just go ahead and take it to the rest of like the cheek. All right, so I'm just gonna get closer so you guys can see the difference. I have not set my right side yet. But do you see like a little yellow cast kind of? And my concealer just looks darker. It is extremely finely milled. So the actual like powder I think would be really nice if only the shade wasn't the shade. But yeah guys, I'm really just not crazy for it. I can't necessarily say I dislike it because it actually looks really nice like on the cheeks. It does have this, let me see if I can show you guys with the swatch, because it definitely has like this glow. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see that, but I think you can probably even see the yellow there though, right? But it kind of reminds me of the La Mer powder. If you've tried that one has like a luminescence to it. It's really pretty. It's got like these very fine, I mean as fine as you can get with a powder, like little shimmery particles. So I kind of feel like this one has something similar to that, but just the shade was throwing me off, at least for under the eyes. I think moving forward, I'll probably just use this for the face, because around the face it is very nice and it feels so silky actually. So it feels nice and it wears nicely too. I mean, I've actually been testing these out together for the most part. So I do end up liking how it looks throughout the day. It's just my under eyes where I don't like it. All right, so let's go ahead and just finish off the face makeup. I am going to use this highlighter. This is from Chanel. I don't believe I've showed it to you guys at all. Besides, I did show it during my haul, but besides that, y'all have not seen it on me. It's the Pearls de la Mer. This is part of Chanel's spring collection highlighter, and I just think it's so pretty. I really like Chanel highlighters. So this is like a champagne shade. It looks pretty. It's just my type of highlight, so it's not like super subtle, but it's not super blinding either. And I actually did apply quite a bit there, so it looks nice. I like this. Guys, I'm just really a fan of Chanel highlighters. Their Metal Peach is my favorite, and that's the one from fall of 2019. And I'm pretty sure they still have that one available, but this one's just as pretty. Excuse how dirty my compact is. As I told you guys, I have been using this, but I did want to show you guys a close-up of this highlighter. It's that Beige Gelée formula, so really nice. Look at that. Ooh. And it also comes with a Half Moon brush, if y'all like to use those brushes. Okay, so more from Chanel. Actually, we're going to be using a lot of Chanel from this moment forward. So Chanel has released some new blushes. These have a different formula. So these are a little bit more, I don't really know exactly how to explain these, honestly. They're a little bit more like on the sheer side, very buildable in my opinion. The longevity is nice on these blushes. And in reality, I've always had good luck with my Chanel blushes. I find that they do wear really nicely throughout the day. So I picked up 2 shades, and I believe right now these are only available at Nordstrom, at least last I checked they were. I will have everything linked down below in case you guys want to support my channel. So the first shade that I'm going to show you guys is 602. This one's called Rose Rubin. And that's the swatch. And then this next one, this one got me really excited when I saw it online, is 604 Brun Rouge. And that is the swatch for that one. So I went ahead and swatched both of the shades here in the back of my hand. As you can see, these are quite sheen, especially this pink one. It kind of looks like a magenta shade. This one on the pan looks very bright. To me, it almost, when I first saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to be very careful when I apply this because real easily I can start looking like a clown. But that's not at all the case. I mean, obviously look at the pan and then look at my hand swatch. So I will say that this formula is a lot thinner and it's definitely not as powdery as some of my other Chanel blushes. Some other blushes, when I do go in with a brush, there is some kick up, whereas with these, you really don't get much. Now I do find that I have to keep layering to build it up to my liking. I got these blushes yesterday, I put them on, I wore them for many hours, and by the time I went to go wash my face, my blush was still looking almost as vibrant as when I had first applied it. So far I'm liking them. I think they look really good. I like the ability of having control with how much I'm applying at once. So I'm gonna go ahead and demo both of these for you guys. And then because of this shade here, I'm purposely not applying any bronzer so that you can really get to see how this one looks on the face. It was actually quite surprising. I mean, honestly, both of these ended up surprising me once I applied them. So let's go in with, is this Rose Ruben? Yeah, Rose Ruben first. Really spooling my brush in here. Now, this is a natural bristle brush. It's from Shikuhodo. It's their KZ04 cheek brush. So I'm gonna start back here. And that is one application. And I think that looks really pretty. I mean, it definitely just gives like a nice kind of flush to the cheeks. Very, very natural looking. Again, what you see on the pan is not necessarily where you're going to get on your cheeks when it comes to the shade, unless you really start to build it up. All right, so I'm gonna go in for some more here. How pretty is that? I just think it looks so beautiful. And honestly, I'm happy with how this is looking. I'm not going to continue building on this shade because I don't think it's necessary. Plus, I'm going to have to even this out once I'm done demoing both of the blushes for you guys. So let me not add on too much. You can still see my skin underneath, so it looks really natural. And that's actually one of the reasons why I feel like these were really well. I think even the combination with the foundation, that is not a full coverage foundation, my makeup just looks very kind of healthy. Just kind of gives like this healthy appearance to my skin. So I'm not going to complain about it. But if you use something that's not as soft as this, it might, I'm sure of it, is going to go ahead and provide you more pigment at once. So I just picked up some of this Brun Rouge. And this shade online actually looked a lot deeper than it does in person. And even in person, I mean, it's still a pretty deep shade. I'm just saying what you see online is not necessarily where you're going to see when you get it in person. The shade of this is just very unique. I definitely don't have anything like this in my collection. It's almost like a burnt brown shade. Really pretty. So that's a thin layer of Brun Rouge. No, wait. Yeah, Brun Rouge. I got it right. And I think that looks so nice. I'll go ahead and apply a little bit more. Honestly, I think I'm just like so happy with this shade because like I said, it is just very different than with what I already have. So if I had to pick one of the two, although I like both of them, I mean, I'm definitely going to pick this one though. This blush, I think it looks really pretty. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to even these out. I just wanted to show you how they looked on the skin because I don't think it's as intimidating as it appears online. So just so you guys know, these are definitely much more wearable shades. I like really brought it down, but you know what? We're gonna keep it like that. Let me go in, and since I didn't bronze, I'm gonna pick up this shade again, 604. And just go ahead and apply this and try to do like the bronzer technique with this. So I'm all done with the face makeup, really happy with it, minus how the under eyes are looking. That I don't like very much, but everything else looks very, very nice to me. So now I'm going to use this eyeliner shadow. So this is from Chanel. It's actually one of their products, also from the spring collection. Actually, the eyeshadow that I'm going to use is also from this year's spring collection. So this eyeshadow liner is in the shade Beige Pearl, which is very pretty. It has some golden shimmer there, and it looks really nice on the lid. It's actually a perfect shade for a one shadow look. But today I'm going to mix it in with some other eyeshadows. So really what I'm going to do is nothing, I don't know, it's really nothing too fancy, definitely not complicated at all. I'm really just lining my lash line heavily and then bringing the shadow here on the outer corner upwards to and over the crease. I'm going to do the same thing on the inner portion, almost like a halo, but I don't know, guys. I did this yesterday and I really liked how my makeup looked. So I'm just trying to replicate that, and really I was just kind of playing with makeup yesterday. And with a brush, I'm going to blend this. I'm going to connect it up here. That glitter looks so nice, and it's not, I don't even feel comfortable calling it a glitter because it's more like a shimmery eyeshadow. But the shimmers in there are gorgeous. It almost makes your eyelids look wet, and I really like that look. I'm also going to heavily line this bottom lash line. Can you guys see that shimmer? It looks so pretty, doesn't it? I love this. For the palette, so this one I've actually had, I don't know, I've had it already for a while. This is the Golden Meadows. It's the number 368 palette, and I have not shown this on my channel because this palette was not released here in the US. I ended up ordering mine through Harrods, which is a UK online store, because I had heard it wasn't going to come out here and I really wanted it. So I bit a bullet and I paid for the extra shipping that I had to pay for it. But you know what? I have no regrets because this is such a pretty palette. I'll go ahead and swatch these shades for you, but honestly, we're only going to use one shade, maybe two actually. On the pan, these eyeshadows look more like they're suited for a fall release, but once I swatch them and I've applied them onto the eyes, it really does look like the perfect palette for the springtime. So I think this is, again, one of those products, just like the blushes, where it's a little bit deceiving when you see it on the pan, but then when you apply it, it's a different story. And not even to say that in a bad way, I think it's in a very complimentary way, actually. I think these products actually apply a lot nicer than how they even look on the pan. So I'm going to take this shade here. It's almost like this rose gold kind of salmon-y metallic shade. And I'm going to apply this right in the center where we didn't apply that liner shadow. Then this gold shade here, I'm just going to pop in the inner corner of the eyes and the brow bone. Now with my Chanel Long Lasting eyeliner in the shade Noir Intense, I'm going to tightline. And then right up against the lashes, I'm going to do this both top and bottom. I'm going to add some of this black eyeliner, and then I'll smudge it out with a little pencil brush. As I'm doing this, I'm like, wait, no, something's not right. I'm missing something here. And yes, I just remembered. I'm going to use another one of these eyeshadow liners. This one's in Rouge Noir, and I'm going to apply this one. It's like a really deep, like a plummy purple actually, on the lash line, and then blend it out because this is actually what I used yesterday. I totally forgot. I really need to stop pinning my hair to the sides because it just messes up my bangs. So now I can't fix them and it's driving me insane. So excuse my hair. Alright, so I did go ahead and apply some mascara. I ended up using my Ashanti Faux Sales mascara. Love it, love it, love it. For my lips, I'm going to use the Rouge Cocoa Flash in 116 Easy. Very, this is just like such a easy shade to wear. It's kind of one of those that when you can't figure out what lipstick product to put on, I just grab this and voila, it goes with almost anything. Very like hydrating to the lips. It feels so comfortable. I love like the little glossiness look that it leaves on my lips as well. Love that. This is not new either. I've actually had it for a while. I don't know when it was released, but I have had it already for quite some time. So yeah, guys, this is the final look, and I think it looks really nice. Honestly, as time goes by, it's actually going to look even better. I will start getting oily around my T-zone. That's just something that I had to deal with. It doesn't really matter what products I'm using, so I usually have to touch up throughout the day anyway. And it's really just like this area here, sometimes a little bit here in between my eyebrows, but everywhere else the makeup stays looking very nice, and this eyeshadow was just very easy to achieve. So just if you guys have these products or anything even similar to them, I would totally recommend creating an eye look like I did today, because it looks nice. It's a little bit smoky but still very wearable for a day or night. Honestly, from the eye look, the one product that I would 100% say that you guys should really go out to get, and I'm not really somebody that like tries to push anybody into getting anything. However, if you ask me if you should get something, then I'm also not going to be the person to hold you back from it. I'll probably buy it with you if I don't have it myself. But when it comes to me telling you guys, hey, you should really go out and get this, I rarely ever do. But this here, I really recommend that you go out to get. So again, this is from Chanel. It's limited edition because it's part of their spring collection. It's the Stylo Ombre et Couture eyeshadow liner kohl in the shade Beige Pearl number 40. I strongly recommend this. And honestly, I really recommend anything from here that you guys were probably eyeing if you were kind of on the fence on. I will say really go ahead and get it. As long as you're not sensitive to a fragrance because of this foundation, and if you do like lighter coverage foundations, then you would probably really actually enjoy something like this. So I do like that very much. I really did end up liking this powder as well, but like I said, not for the under eyes. Let's see. Oh, this primer is lovely, really pretty. This is again from LYS. It's called the Secure Skin Gripping Serum Primer. And yeah, really everything from the Chanel spring line that I have is really pretty as well. So I think I covered everything new from today. Those blushes from Chanel are also bomb, bomb, bomb. Definitely try them out if you're curious on them as well. I think it looks really pretty. Alright guys, that is it for today. I hope you liked this video and found it informative. If you did, please make sure to give me that thumbs up. And while you're there, if you have not yet, do not forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today. Until next time.